Hey YouTube! So this is the guitar that I've actually done a couple of videos on it. I did one last night, the night before, but with the black light bulb on because I remembered this thing glows in the dark. This is the guitar that I put a clickbait thing up for last week with this is the bargain of the decade or whatever it was I called it. Best guitar I bought this year for cheap. I can't tell you how much it cost because you'd be sick. So this is an Ibanez Blazer series from 1981. Serial number starts L81. It's not in the 81 catalogue though, it's in the 82 catalogue. Ibanez have all their catalogues online, which is really nice. I wish everyone did that. But Ibanez do. Probably to do with maybe Ibanez are probably still owned by the same people that owned them back then, whereas I think a lot of other companies are no longer owned by the original people. It seemed a wee bit of an angle, can I just maybe a bit straighter? Yep. So it's a 1981 model, but it's in the 82 catalogue. There's not a huge difference between it. I just noticed it was the 81 series doesn't seem to have one that's got a tremolo, and in this exact configuration, whereas this one here, it's a BL450. There are letters after it. That's probably the colour. That one's BY, which is red, and one next to it's SB. So this one, I'm not sure exactly what colour it was. When I got it, it had been painted very, 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 very dark blue, just by hand, and whatever was on it before. I assume it, looking at it there, it looks like it did have a nitro finish on it, so or not a nitro, a poly finish. This one doesn't. This one had been sanded down to wood and then painted very dark blue, and I'm not really into it. It kind of look black, and one of my least favourite kinds of guitars is, because I mean, most of the Buckfaster casters are this, or started off like this. Black strap, white scratch plate, boring. So I had an attempt at a swirl paint job thing. This one didn't really work. That one there was the one I did first in the bucket. I had two guitars painted white, and I kind of rushed it. I should have practiced on like scratch plates or the headstocks or pickups or something, but I was like, I wanted to just do it because I was in the mood. So I did it, and that one kind of worked out much better. This one, I didn't clear the water out before I did this one, so it kind of just ended up being lumpy. But the green and the orange bits, it kind of looked a bit white, so I kind of just, because I thought I'd failed completely, I just gave it a bit of a scoosh with the green and the pink. And actually, I've ended up with something that actually I think I quite like. I couldn't wait to put the guitar back together again to try it, basically. And I figured that with a paint job, I can build the guitar up, get it all working, play it, and then once I've learned how to do the swirl to a better, I can come back, strip it and do it again easily. So I've not actually lacquered this one. I have lacquered that one, which I forgot to mention in the video the other day, because I figured that this was just going to be a temporary thing. But having it hanging on my wall, I actually kind of quite like it. It's got something, it's just, it didn't really, so it's kind of, see, all kind of stuck to the bottom bit as opposed to being anything around the top. But it's acceptable. I'm doing it just now. I might paint it again later, but I really just wanted to get it working. Yeah, so Ibanez Blazers, I wasn't really that sure knew anything about them. I do have a Roadster 2, which is a guitar I really like. It's much later, it's 1986. That one, Floyd Rose 24 frets binding, so it's kind of no longer a Strat, whereas this is a Strat, pretty much. It's not quite the same shape. It's got a little bit more of a wee bit more of a hook shape here and here, like Ibanez thing. Oh, it's got very bright. The sun just came out. I don't know why the light suddenly gone washed out. Yes, so lots of things I really like about this. It's got a one-piece neck. I really like one-piece maple necks. I don't know how much of that's in my head, so that means that it's not a separate fingerboard. It's one piece, as I said, and the skunk stripe on the back is actually used for putting the truss rod in. A lot of the times you get a skunk stripe in the back, but it's got a separate fingerboard, so that means the skunk stripe's really just for show as opposed to being actually a necessary thing, whereas it's necessary in this. It's got the bullet truss rod, the best kind of truss rod. The string trees are just the sort of, the ones that they might be getting upgraded to roller ones if I have any problems with them. It's not the best design. Ibanez smooth tune tuners, which are probably Goto. I'm actually noticing this strap's been a bit squeaky. It's one of those free straps. Pickups are Ibanez Super 6. I did a video a couple of weeks ago of a Blazer, a 5, not on that page, I'm sure it was a 550. And it had these pickups, but they were called Super Tap 6, and it had a coil tap on it. Unfortunately, these ones don't have the tap on it. And I'm slightly disappointed, but it's alright. The guitar was cheap enough for me to, I can't possibly be annoyed about that. It does have the third adjustment screw, so you can actually, I always like it on a lot of these, no washburns on the wall just now, but you get quite a lot in humbuckers in the 80s in Japan. You get two adjustment screws here and one on this side, which means you can tilt the pickup. Also, it stops it rocking back and forward. Sometimes you get them, they just sort of hang there, but it just holds them more secure. So basically, this is an improvement over a Fender design, having the third screw. It's better. I don't know why more guitars don't have it. It's just better. Technically, you can angle the thing so it sits exactly under the screw, but also it means it doesn't move because it's held in with 3 things instead of just 2, which have a tendency, if you touch them, you know, even on expensive guitars, it tends to do that. So it's definitely an improvement. Also got big bolt pieces on it. Kind of reminds me of Schecter Super Rocks a little bit. This one, when I say I got it as a super bargain, I did have to do some work to it. I had to, some of the frets were quite worn down here, so I've kind of crowned and levelled and done the frets again. The 5-way switch I couldn't save, which I was really annoyed about because it's like a Japanese 5-way, the original switch, but it just didn't work, so it's just got a cheapy modern one in there. It didn't come with knobs, so these are just ones off out my parts box, which actually, I've ordered brass ones, or gold looking ones from eBay for like £2, or factory seconds. I think these actually, I just put them on just for temporary, but I actually think they kind of suit the guitar a bit. This is a phase switch, so it knocks the middle pickup out of phase. That might not be staying. I don't think I've really got that much use for a phase switch. I might make it into a Gilmore switch instead. These pickups are all the same, so I can't do the humbucker trick. Not that I'd really want to because it's a Strat. So that's just kind of gone through everything. We're now on to the bridge, which I really wish I'd taken a photo of before I'd cleaned it up, because this, I thought it was going in the bin. The base plate was black rust, and I just assumed it was, you know, it corroded all the chromos off it, but it must be solid steel because I cleaned it up and it went looks absolutely spanking new. The saddles, the same, they were black, and when I cleaned them up they turned out to be super brass. This trem arm, I think, is the original one, not sure, and it's got like a huge brass block in the back, much bigger than you get, even if you look up brass blocks on eBay, you could buy them for your Strat, and I think they're about £50, and it's more than a preference whole guitar. But so I'm just going to mess about with it. So this is my Strat, I suppose. I'm trying to think of, don't really have any other actual Strats. My MIDI guitar, which is hanging up there, is a Strat as well, but because it's MIDI, it's a MIDI Strat. It's not just a Strat. This is just a Strat. These pickups are really powerful. Maybe that was the one I had a couple of weeks ago, the higher up range one. It's basically exactly the same, apart from the candy apple red body, candy apple red headstock, and the pickups were tappable. Unfortunately, these weren't. I looked in thinking, oh, maybe I can just add the switch in, and it's like, no, they're not the same pickup. Well, it's the same pickup, but it doesn't have the tap option on it, so I can't do that. So if I want it quieter, I have to. If I want the tap thing, I maybe just have to turn the volume down, which maybe kind of does it. So playing through my wee Laney, no pedals on, that cabinet, neck pickup. So maybe if I turn the volume down, I'll get a sort of tap sound. Yeah, maybe that's why tapping never really took off, because if you turn the volume down, you kind of get the same thing. So it's neck pickup, position 4. Middle pickup. switch. Tone off. I really like this guitar. So this one's a keeper. Partly because I've painted it stupid, but I think I might actually use this in Cranking House, the band I'm in playing guitar, just because it's cool. Yeah, so when I got this, the nut on the top of the output jack and this switch and this tone pot had been knocked inside the guitar, so that was why it was so cheap, because it, you know, it didn't work. It turned out when I put stuff on it, it was the switch that was burst as well, but that's by the by. These things you sometimes have to fix. I did manage to save both the pots. Both the pots were are still original. They were incredibly crunchy, but a bit of switch cleaner and just turning them up and down 20 times, and they're kind of back to being, well, that is on, yeah. Brilliant, same with the tone. So high quality stuff. Really annoyed about that switch. I'm going to have to, I haven't chucked the switch out yet. I might have a wee go at trying to bend the inside of it, see if I can make it work again, put it back in again. I suppose I should turn on the phase switch. So the phase reverses the middle pickup, so the only time you hear it is when you're in position 2 and 4. So position 2 in phase, out of phase. Yeah, not really that much use to me. Might be good with a fuzz pedal or something actually. And say position 4. Back in phase. Yeah, so what I might do is I might just make that a Gilmore switch, because I'd keep the actual same switch in there. And the Gilmore switch would just permanently turn on the neck pickup, which means I could get outside 2 coils and all 3 pickups on, which I think are more use than those phasey sounds. You can just not really. Maybe I can use it. Might use it for the backing track so you can hear the lead guitar louder. Bridge. that distortion over the worst one stacking the box. Oh, not again. Slightly dodgy input. Really need to clean that better. Joyous Dream pedal. I'm going to attempt to use the tremolo arm. I don't know how much it's going to put it out of tune though. playing this all day, which I'm going to do, but I've got to stop the video just now. Yeah, so the Ibanez Blazers are really, really good. I really like this guitar. It's, let's just say it's as good a Strat as I've ever played, pretty much. And I have actually played like proper American ones and stuff. Pretty much that. So thanks to Craig for finding this for me, who's a guitarist in After the End, Black Sabbath tribute band. There's a guy actually mentioned ABQ Skies from Texas. Greetings, Texas. He's up here. Yeah, talked to this guy, Mad Malco, who was in Black Sabbath. I wasn't in Black Sabbath. I was in a Black Sabbath tribute band. Unfortunately, I'm not old enough to have been in Black Sabbath. Although that would have been fun. Let's be honest, being Black Sabbath are probably my favourite band, apart from maybe Baby Metal. Well, different thing, but top 5 anyway, or top 2 anyway. Still reckon the best album anyone's ever made is Sabotage by Black Sabbath. Actually, I was thinking in at some point, this is a bit by the by, I'm just going to talk nonsense now. Originally, when Black Sabbath recorded their first album, Tony Iommi played a white Stratocaster, and it broke the day they were recording, and he didn't have time to get it fixed or to get the pickup done, so he used his backup guitar, being the Gibson SG. So I was kind of thinking, I know that Craig has got himself a Tokai, he's got like a white Strat, and I was thinking we should do like the first album on a Strat to see what Black Sabbath could have been had that guitar not broken, because I mean, who knows what would have changed if he, instead of using an SG, he'd used a Strat. Things could have been very different. Don't know. It's actually not held tuned too badly, considering I was using the tremolo there. It's just set tight to the body, so it's down bed only. Yeah, so the Blazer, learning a little bit about it, just looking this stuff up. Ibanez did a Roadster, and I think there's a Roadster and a Roadstar, like up until the Blazer. So the Roadster was a sort of Stratty shaped thing, but not quite so Stratty, more kind of this sort of shape, but more Gibson-y build-wise, you know, sort of mahogany body, maybe set neck, maybe bolt neck, humbuckers kind of thing. And then they did the Blazers from 1981, I think, and I just assumed they were Fujigen, but according to some things I've found when I typed in the serial number, another Japanese factory, which I know nothing about, called Dyna, made these, and Dyna apparently were like a sort of subcontractory thing. I need to do some more research. There's not an awful lot about Dyna kicking about, but it says in that one paragraph in whatever site it was I was on that they also subcontracted for Yamaki, and it's like, ooh, you know, the plot thickens. So it's kind of, I'm now sitting wondering if this was because Fujigen apparently had had never made Fender style instruments before, so they sort of subcontracted it out to this Dyna company to make the Blazers, being their first actual Stratty, as in maple neck, scratch plate, 3 single coil type guitars. And I know is there going to be stuff on it? By 1983, I know this was a Fujigen, apparently. So this is your Fender type thing. It's not entirely dissimilar to this. It's a smaller neck. I'm also sitting there wondering if the Washburn Force, this has got a V-shaped neck. I wonder if this is kind of, is this maybe a Dyna as well? Or is it, because I was under the impression it was a Yamaki. 1982, so Yamaki were still the people making Washburns, but if they were subcontracted out, you wonder about these things. I just wish there was more solid info kicking about. So the temptation is to say that, oh, Ibanez Fujigen, and I think Ibanez Fujigen, yes, after sort of 83, but 1981, 82, it could be this Dyna company. It's certainly got a very Fendery. The next thing I've got closest to this is my Schecter. I've got a Schecter Strat from the 80s, and they were expensive guitars in their day, so it would probably be a pretty much direct copy of a Fender, which I think this probably is as well. The neck just seems absolutely perfect. But I have noticed that I always thought Blazers were cheap. I remember, this is going back 20 years, seeing Blazers kicking about. They were always sort of under 100 quid. And then seeing one in Jimmy Moon's for like 500 quid and thinking, but there's different ranges. I don't think there were at this time. Oh, there might be. I don't know, but I saw one. There's one on eBay just now that's a Blazer something's a couple of years later than this. It's got like covered pickups. It's black, unfortunately, but the tuners on it are like those really cheapy ones, and I'm just wondering if maybe there was a much cheaper range of Blazers as well. So that's the ones that you think, oh, Blazers, they're not really worth any money. I think maybe like anything else, they did a sort of £100 one, and then a £200 one, and a £300 one, depending on which one it is you get. So there could be great variances in it. It's kind of interesting to try out the Blazer things. Again, it's the one piece maple neck. It just does it for me all the time. It's like fantastic. What do you call it? Feel to it. It's just got the right sort of. You can't really fake 30 years old. 1980. 40. No, yeah, 40 years old. 40 years old next year. Wow. So some of these things are getting crazy vintage. I mean, think about it. So, you know, when people had their vintage guitars. I mean, when did, you know, like Peter Green have his 1958 Les Paul? But it was only 10 years old. So it's like you didn't really, back then a vintage guitar did not exist. You know, it's like an old one was like 10 years old because that's when they invented these things. So it's kind of mad when you think about these guitars that we're now looking at being 40 years old. You know, back in 1980 when this was new, you're really talking about 25 years for your oldest possible guitar. So madness, and it really has survived incredibly well. Considering, apart from some point somebody painted it. The previous owner said he bought this in 1986. I can't remember where. I think he said Haddington, or somewhere that sounds a bit like that. I don't really know where Haddington is. I think was he Irish? I don't want to offend anyone. I think he was Irish, or from Birmingham. Oh, I can't remember. I could have told you at the time. It was a week ago. I can't remember. But Blazers seem to be amazing. I can see why there are people that go from like one of your hidden gems. I don't think they go for that much money either. Again, maybe it feels like a Strat, but it's like to me it's like a power Strat. It seems the pickup seems to be much more powerful. It seems to like the distortion. I'm on the first pedal just now. It just seems to like that an awful lot. So I need to find some more excuses to play this guitar. I'll maybe demo some pedals or write a song or something. There's also something a bit perverse in me as well. It's like one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of like your Gibson Les Pauls and stuff like that is because they cost £2,000. So I'm like, Whereas I like you pick one up for nothing and you can actually you enjoy playing it because not that my expectations were really low, but it was so cheap. It's like pure haha. You know, it's like. Can't wait for this to get back into normal situations so I can get back in with the band down at Ali's studio. Really looking forward to that. I'm just going to absolutely shred this thing and be totally over the top, arrogant and not shut up. I'm talking about solos all the way through the verses and the singing and the quiet bits between songs. I make a point of doing it until I'm told to stop. The guys are too polite when I do try and... Every time I try and be like taking the piss a bit by being pure stupid at the end of songs and doing all that stuff, they all go, that bit was really good, and it's like, that was meant to be good, it was meant to be take the piss. So yeah, so that'll be my long video of the week. I didn't really do one on Sunday there because I kind of, let's be honest, I forgot it was Sunday. Actually, it screwed me up buying this guitar a bit because I bought it at like 9:30, 8:30 at night, and then I had to drive to Edinburgh, so it was like that night I was kind of out and then back in, like sort of close to midnight and stuff like that. And then obviously I had to try and strip the guitar and start playing it because it was a new guitar for me. Rock on!